Alright, let's try this again. I have to do a few of the actions from last turn again, I believe.
Salve.
Waliunanahualajque. Nikaki.
Sad was going to grow. Swap will grow in a few turns. This is going fine.
Ik geloof dat ik iets heb wat u...
Is the following trade of interest to you?
So right now we're on track and 2 turns behind with a research agreement that'll still pop, which should enter several turns ahead.
Ik geloof dat ik iets heb wat u enig belang...
Right, I needed to renew all those deals and I didn't.
Is the following
Waliunanahualajque. Otseki. Milaguacamo. Waliunanahualajque. Shikuini in tlenon timitsilia, noso shikshiko in tlenon mopan.
Salve. Poco offero, a te considerando.
Looks like Rome's conquering some stuff here.
今天怎么样？ 然不行，当
Wow,
然。
you really don't like me.
Wederom gegroet. Ik moet weigeren.
You really don't like me either.
Good day. Is the following trade of interest to you? Of course.
Μέλημα. Ήκουσα σε πρέποντα τες αλωτρίας ομιλίας. Με δείξας. Ουδ.
I'm just not sure I can sell all of them, so I'm trying to sell them in bulk here.
Ah, välkommen!
Up to 30 gold per turn though now, that's something. Leave Milan alone.
“我的朋友，
I trust you are a friend to liberty. Is the following trade of interest to you? Go ahead.
Walyo na nawalahke.
Salve.
με
啊，välkommen! Ah, välkommen! Mycket bra. Jag lyssnar.
Who did we... Oh, Zanzibar that we're no longer friends with. You know...
Ah, välkommen. Fortsätt.
Damn, China no like us. Wow, Rome must have come in and taken that archaeological site. I was like, wait, wasn't that there? I didn't even notice. I was not paying any attention to that. Oops. I'm sure people were laughing in the video about how I was completely oblivious to that. Rome's influence grows.
Poco off, Beetle.
Is the
Ήκουσα σε
Min vän.
It's gonna be worth it. And then biology, I suppose. Railroad. Shoot them straight to satellites, worry about stuff after that. Assign delegates. I want less influence from China. More positive rep with Rome wouldn't hurt. China won't even care about this. I've probably made some, I've made some stupid mistakes in this game here, but as you can see right there, we already managed to, we can change this too for next turn, preemptively. Alright, so with things set up the way they are, right, we're looking at 481 science total, you know, 36, 73, 174, 133 culture per turn. We have a rough idea of what we're expecting here, so I'm going to actually take a quick screenshot of this with my phone so I can comparison too. But yeah, so 36, so basically really 37, 73 at a minimum. If we look at like the demographic screen, our crop yield is, we have 191, 210, 187, and we have 21, 21, 16, 16. So let's save that. Let's load, because I have to load the autosave of the previous version of this. Should be here. So, looking at this, what do we know? Our science. It's technically considered higher right now. And I'm pretty sure that's due to the merchant slots. So we have 23, 21, 16, 15. Adwell would have grown. So with 2 more turns to grow, I mean, Addis Ababa is basically 2 pop ahead. Adwa's like effectively 3 turns behind in growing or whatever, right? Because it's already been 16 pop for several turns. And if we look at the demographics, we'd see 197. So this was 197 before. It was 210 there. So yeah. And if we actually look at the individual cities, we'll see why is this getting the higher science, because they're doing things like working the market, which one of the problems with working the market, especially at lower population, is the fact that we don't actually want to be getting great merchant points, because we don't want to accidentally risk triggering a great merchant when we want the great scientists or maybe even great engineers, worst case, instead. Now later on you ideally want to work the markets, but ideally later on you actually have enough pop in the cities that you can work them safely. Maybe we could be working them, but it felt like the cities were smaller than they should have been at that point, so I wasn't wanting to do that. Same thing here, again you can see it's working the market. That's what it is. And the capital, it's not working the Musicians Guild, which it looks like we had, so we had what, like I think 37 and 75 or something like that. Didn't have the Circus Maximus, I built that. Our culture's 3 less. Harara's basically working what we'd expect it to mostly work at this point, with some exception of some tiles up there. Yeah, so you can see it is what it is. We beat our time to plastics by 2 full turns there. And even though this is rated our science slightly higher right now, it's due to like working the markets. If we just disabled that, for example. And we notice we don't have the factory even finished here, whereas we finished it the other time around. So if we worked these slots, yeah, a lot closer. And that's just really due to the extra pop in the capital. And the catch is that the capital is behind in several other ways, right? So like I said, default governor is not that great. The difference you're seeing here is actually honestly less than you normally would see, because you'll notice like we didn't even get the secularism things. We haven't had the chance to be building up great scientists. I mean, in this case we have 2 great scientists. I think in the other game we might have had 3. Let's load back to the other game real fast and check. So that's a lot of great scientist points we missed out on, which is a huge deal. And on this side we have, yeah, see we have a full 3rd great scientist lined up too, which is huge. We don't have wasted great merchant points over here. You know, we could easily enough divert some of these. Hey look, I'm working a market. I'm amazing. I'm so cool, I can work a market. Here we'd have to give up several things. I mean, it's basically working the factory ultimately, which again we ideally would have been able to, but the population growth earlier on is just not where it should have been by the time we got to this point. You know, you can see we can do stuff like this if you really want to. And that's already the same, and now, you know, we're at 500. Pretty close, and it's really just the 2 pop there. See, this is like a full growth ahead that's grown. And ultimately, I think the fact that we literally shaved off 2 entire turns there speaks for itself. Plus, we have an extra great scientist that shaves off more time. We loaded this on turn 2 on 179, so one of these took 31 turns, the other took 33 turns. You know, nearly 10% longer to do the same thing. That adds up over time with how Civ tends to snowball. 8 turns saved to the great scientist here. If you reach its science building 2 turns faster, let's say. We could have shaved off more if we had more time to be working with this, honestly. And ideally, earlier we would have been working proper tiles and had proper growth, and the infrastructure would not have been as bad in the first place. So it all cascades. But another great scientist is like 10 turns. You add in even if you get to each science building 2 turns faster, and that's it. There's like 15 turns or whatever shaved off your winning time out of a 300 turn game. That's 5% already right then and there. Take it for what it's worth.